The champagne tray hit the cathedral floor. Glass exploded across marble. 500 heads turned. Donato Milani looked up and saw his pregnant ex-lover serving drinks at his own wedding. Evelyn Burrows. The woman he'd sent away 10 months ago. The woman his men swore was gone for good. Except she wasn't gone. She was here, terrified, one hand shielding her belly. From him, his bride's voice sliced through the silence. Donato. The priest is waiting. Shannon Gaines stood beside him, ivory dress, diamond ring, a billion-dollar merger hanging on 2 words. I do. But Donato couldn't say them, because Evelyn looked destroyed, too thin, dark-circled, living in hell, and his consigliere, standing in the front pew with a face too blank, looked like he'd put her there. Choose power, again. Evelyn grabbed the door handle. The priest cleared his throat. Do you take this woman? Evelyn pushed it open. 500 witnesses held their breath. Donato's voice cut through the cathedral. No. If your heart just stopped when Donato said no, you need to see what happens next. Hit that subscribe button right now, because this man just walked away from everything, and the war that's about to start will cost him more than he ever imagined. Donato slammed through the cathedral's side door. 50 feet ahead, Evelyn was running, one hand cradling her belly. Evelyn, stop! She burst through the kitchen doors. Donato was right behind her. She spun around, backed against a sink. Stay away from me. Antonio told me you were in Europe. Safe. Safe? She laughed, bitter. Your consigliere came to my apartment with $50,000. He said if I took the money and disappeared, you'd never know about the baby. But if I ever contacted you... She stopped. That accidents happen to women like me. Donato's hands curled into fists. I didn't take his money, Evelyn whispered. I just disappeared anyway. The kitchen doors opened. Antonio stood there. Boss, we need to get you back inside. Clear the room, Donato said. Everyone out. When they were alone, Donato's voice dropped. Tell Evelyn what you told me about where she was. Antonio's mask cracked. I told him you'd relocated to Europe. That you'd accepted a settlement. And was any of that true? No. Evelyn's hand flew to her mouth. Shannon paid you, didn't she? Donato said. Silence. Get out. You have until sunrise to disappear. Antonio walked out. Donato turned to Evelyn. I know you don't trust me, but someone threatened to kill you at my wedding. Let me protect you. The apartment in Queens looked held together by rust and regret. Donato stood outside Unit 3C, his $3,000 shoes on filthy linoleum. This was where Evelyn had been living. While he slept in a penthouse, she opened the door. The apartment was barely bigger than his closet. A hot plate, plastic-sheeted window, twin mattress, 1 blanket, and in the corner a baby corner. A thrift store bassinet, paint chipped. 3 onesies on a cardboard box. A stuffed rabbit with 1 ear missing. Paper cranes hanging from a nail. Everything she could afford. Nothing a child of his should have. I was saving for a crib, Evelyn said softly. Another month, maybe 2. Stop. His voice broke. Just stop. He turned to face her. For the first time since he was 17, Donato Milani felt tears burn. You were raising my child here. Evelyn lifted her chin. I was doing the best I could. I know. That's what destroys me. Outside, a siren wailed. Pack your things. You're never coming back here. I don't want your res. Someone threatened you. I can't protect you if you're living in a place with broken locks. His voice cracked. You don't have to trust me, but you need to survive. And so does our child. Our... First time he'd said it. After a long moment, she nodded. 1 bag. Shannon Gaines stormed into the Milani estate, her father and lawyers flanking her. Donato stood in his study, Evelyn behind him. You humiliated me, Shannon said, in front of everyone who matters. I'm aware. So you're gonna fix this. Tell the press it was a medical emergency, and get rid of her. No. Victor Gaines moved forward. Our merger was worth billions. Without it, you lose your shipping routes. I keep mine. Shannon's face twisted. You're choosing a pregnant waitress over me? We didn't build anything. Donato dropped the engagement ring on the desk. This marriage was a transaction. It's canceled. Canceled? Evelyn is carrying my child, my heir. Anyone who threatens her threatens the Milani bloodline. Victor's face drained. Donato, you're making a mistake. The only mistake I made was trusting snakes. Get out. Shannon didn't move. You'll regret this. Maybe, but I'll regret it alive. Come near Evelyn again, and you won't be. Shannon's smile was cold. You just declared war on the wrong family. She walked out. Evelyn whispered, "What did you just do?" Donato stared at the door. "I chose you." Donato sat in his office, watching cathedral footage on loop, watching Antonio's face, frame by frame. The moment the tray shattered, Antonio didn't look surprised. He looked satisfied. His phone buzzed. Message from Enzo, his tech specialist. $50K wire from Gaines' shell company to Antonio's account. He's been communicating with them for months. Antonio hadn't just threatened Evelyn. He'd been bought. Months ago. This was about controlling Donato. His phone rang. Unknown number. A distorted voice. "You should have stayed at the altar, Milani. Now she dies." The line went dead. Donato called Enzo. "Run background checks on every guard hired in the last 6 months. You have 4 hours." He walked to Evelyn's room. She sat by the window, hand on her belly. "Can't sleep? Every time I close my eyes, I see that van. That won't happen again." "You can't promise that." "I can. Because I'm finding out who's working against me. And I'm getting you out." "Out?" She stood. "You can't just leave. You have enemies. A crown you can't. I can give it all up. For you. For our child." She searched his face for a lie. Didn't find one. "You'd really do that?" "I already have." On the third night, Donato found Evelyn in the nursery. She stood at the crib, hand on the railing. "You didn't have to do this." "Yes, I did. I just want to know my baby will be safe. Our baby. And I'll die before I let anyone hurt either of you." She turned, eyes red. "You can't promise that." "Watch me." Evelyn swayed, hand to her stomach. "Just tired." She sank into the rocking chair. "Haven't been sleeping." "Why not?" "Every time I close my eyes, I see Shannon's face." Within minutes, her breathing slowed. Asleep. Donato stayed kneeling. Then he saw it. Movement beneath her shirt. The baby. His hand moved, resting gently against the fabric. Another kick. Stronger. His child was alive. Fighting. Real. The baby kicked again. "I've got you. Both of you. I swear it." Outside, a car engine started in darkness. Headlights flickered, then disappeared. Someone had been watching. The appointment was routine. 30-week checkup. Standard ultrasound. Donato brought heavy security, 2 SUVs, 4 vetted men, but he'd underestimated Shannon's reach. His phone buzzed. "New nurse. Doesn't match records." His blood went cold. He burst into the corridor. The exam room was empty. Back door open. "Evelyn!" He hit the alley as a van stopped. 2 masked men dragged Evelyn toward it. Donato's gun was out. "Let her go." One turned. Donato fired. The man dropped. The second dove into the van. It peeled away. Evelyn collapsed, gasping. Donato was beside her. The baby. "I'm fine." She wasn't, shaking violently. "They were going to." "I know." One truth shattered everything. Evelyn would never be safe in New York. Not while he wore the crown. "We're leaving." "What?" "New York. Tonight." She stared. "And what about you?" Donato looked at the skyline, the empire he'd built, the throne he'd bled to keep, then at Evelyn, at the life inside her. "I'm coming with you." Shannon sat across from Lorenzo Valli in a warehouse. "You're asking me to hit a Milani stronghold," Lorenzo said. "That's suicide." "Not if he's distracted." She slid a folder across. "Donato's leaving in 48 hours. Lorenzo studied floor plans, security rotations." "Where'd you get this?" "Antonio Lazio. He wants revenge as much as I do." "What do you want?" "Power outage tomorrow night. 12 blocks go dark for 18 minutes, including Donato's penthouse." 18 minutes isn't enough. It is if you're not fighting your way in. Take the woman. Make it look like she fell. 7 months pregnant, dark stairwell, tragic accident. Lorenzo smiled. "What's my cut?" "Half the shipping routes. 20 million up front. Make it 30. Done." They shook hands. "When this is over, Donato Milani won't have anything left to fight for." Shannon's smile was razor sharp. "That's the idea." Behind her, men loaded weapons. 18 minutes. Tomorrow night, Evelyn Burrows would disappear forever. 24 hours later, the lights went out at 11:47 p.m. Emergency generators didn't kick in. Glass shattered. 6 windows. Men in tactical gear rappelled through, weapons raised. Donato fired. One dropped, then another, but they kept coming. "Evelyn, run!" Donato sprinted down the hallway. A knife caught his ribs, pain exploded, but he didn't stop. He reached the nursery as a masked figure grabbed Evelyn. Donato put 3 bullets in his chest. "The panic room, now." He shoved her into the steel chamber. "You're coming." "I can't. If I stay, they'll know you're here. I have to lead them away." "Donato." "No. I love you, and I love our child. I can't protect you if I'm still him." "Still who?" "The Don. They'll never stop. Not while I have the crown." Tears filled her eyes. "Then give it up." "I will. But first I have to survive tonight." He closed the door, heard the lock engage, turned to face the wolves. Footsteps echoed. Donato raised his gun. Donato Milani died at 2:17 del mattino, in a penthouse fire. That's what the news reported. That's what Shannon believed, watching the building burn. But Donato wasn't there. He was at St. Vincent's, getting 12 stitches, while Enzo executed the plan. Antonio had returned, lured by Shannon's payment promise. He'd walked into Lorenzo's team. The body in the rubble would match Antonio Lazio. By dawn, Donato Milani was a ghost. No fingerprints, no accounts, no empire. Just a man driving to a private airfield. Evelyn waited on the tarmac, hand on her belly. "I thought, I'm here, I'm alive, we're leaving." "Where?" "A coastal town in Maine. No cameras, no names, just us." As the plane lifted off, Manhattan disappeared beneath clouds. "What do we do now?" "We start over. I find a job. We rent a house. When our baby comes, I'm just Donato, not a Don, just a father." Her hand tightened around his. "I'd like that." 4 weeks later, in a cottage overlooking the Atlantic, Evelyn went into labor early. Donato held his daughter for the first time. She had Evelyn's eyes, and no idea who her father used to be. What should we name her? Donato thought about the life he'd left, the violence, the crown he'd traded. Hope. Her name is Hope, because that's what she was. The only thing worth fighting for. The only thing that had ever mattered. Donato gave up everything for hope. And that's what this story is, hope, that love can win, that people can change. If that hit you, subscribe. Because we've got more stories that'll make you believe in second chances.